Alrighty, welcome back everyone. It is LaughNgamez here. I am back and it is time for another Starcraft 2 1 vs 1 replay cast. Today we are on the map New Repugnancy for this AlphaStar match. New Repugnancy. Always a good map. And we've got ourselves a PvP today. In the bottom left, it is a Masters Protoss. And challenging said master is going to be none other than AlphaStar's Protoss, AlphaToss, the big T, whatever you want to call this AI. But yeah, we've had a few AlphaStar Protoss versus Protoss to go through. There's like one or two more games, I think, and then it looks like we got just like a big bag of all the other matchups to go through, which is good because variety is the spice of life, as they say. But then again, the PvPs are also fun because sometimes really cheesy stuff happens. And AlphaStar definitely can be susceptible to it, but for now, this game, it is just mirrored openings from both players. Looks like the Masters player even scouting out his natural a little bit, I guess just because why not? And AlphaStar, not doing too much else, but yeah, interestingly enough, this match, AlphaStar has elected to go for the high ground wall-off, as opposed to the wall-off that it sometimes goes for, like just having it closer to its nexus. So that's pretty unique. Like, what's the difference here that makes AlphaStar choose to wall-off like this as opposed to like it has done in other matches? So I'm actually quite curious because, like, is this a different sort of Protoss iteration? Is it going to play differently? I'm honestly unsure. So we'll take a look here as the probe scout for the Masters player comes on in. Sees everything is pretty normal on AlphaStar's side of the map. The AI is banking up that gas pretty darn quickly, so we should be seeing a Stargate, I imagine, is going to be the play. As AlphaStar fires up, the Stargate fires up 2 Adepts. Meanwhile, the Masters player fires up 2 Stalkers and hasn't gone for his tech yet. We'll see what he's going to elect to go for. Is that just going to be a low ground pylon he'll throw up to get a shield battery going? Oh, he was deciding high or low ground, and he picked low ground. And then he's got another probe that just rallies out. I'm not sure. I think he might have had to set his rally there. But yeah, anyway, AlphaStar likes to get out that quick tech, whereas the Masters player has gone for his 2 Stalkers. His pylon's going to finish up, then I'll have 2 more on the way. So once again, it is the humans opting for the more muscly technique. Whereas AlphaStar likes to go for its Adepts, its Oracle, that usual sort of stuff, or not necessarily always an Oracle, sometimes right into those Phoenix. We've got the Masters player going to have to throw up a battery, keep those Adepts out of our base, and then, yeah, just actually throwing up another 2 gateways at a proxy location, so it is going to be a big cheese coming out of the Masters player, who's now engaging AlphaStar's Adepts that are on top of AlphaStar's ramp. An Oracle is about to pop out, though, and the AI might actually just elect to use this to engage the Stalkers. Looks like it is, but good reaction from the Masters player, actually running away. Could potentially get shots off on this Oracle. He didn't. He kind of just stopped kiting altogether. I would have liked to see him kite, shoot, and then I think he could have killed off that Oracle. But for now, the Oracle is not on his side of the map, so he doesn't have to worry about that. He's keeping his Stalker alive as it's running away from those 2 Adepts. Gotta be careful, you don't want to lose that. The Masters player might lose that Stalker, and he does. He will get AlphaStar's Adept as an exchange, as the AI decides to throw up a shield battery. Has a Robo on the way, decently close to finishing, so there is going to be a timer on this big attack from the Masters player, as Stalkers aren't very effective against Immortals, and that's what we're going to be seeing from AlphaStar. But take a look right now, we see it's 4 Stalkers against 2. There's going to have to be a Stalker Warpin. If the Masters player unpowers these gates, that's going to be huge. No more Warpins for AlphaStar. However, an Immortal is now being chrono boosted out, but can the Masters player get damage done before that? He targets down the pylon. That just goes down right away as the Masters player is continuously skirmishing here. Pylon gets cancelled that time by the Masters player. AlphaStar elects to use a recall. I'm not sure what it chose to recall there. 2 Adepts that were unsuccessfully doing anything on the other side of the map. The Masters player is going to grab the Cyber Core of AlphaStar. That's rather nice, so Stalkers can be warped in. But then again, that Immortal did just pop out, and the Immortal should end should basically end this rush, but the Masters player is committing on into this. He's got to be careful, though. No, he walks into the stasis ward. He recalls his non-stasis units to get them out, but oh, that's a disaster. As we see, these 5 stalkers are probably just going to be forfeit. There's no escape for those guys. They're just gonna be in a very, very bad spot once they pop into that stasis. Maybe he can grab like a stalker or something, target that down. Looks like he brought in some reinforcements, but no, he's just gonna run out of there. Does just lose the 1 stalker, so that's actually definitely better than it could have been. But if we do take a look right now, AlphaStar does have another cyber core on the way. It's repowering its gateways, and it's got an immortal and a prism on the way. A second immortal gonna be joining up. And that could be very bad news for the Masters player, as AlphaStar could just counter push. Both players remain on 1 base. The Masters player looks like he wants to go for an expansion now, but I don't think he can just go for an expansion. He needs a Robo, he needs a Twilight Council, something like that, as I feel anyway, as otherwise the Immortals are just going to be uncountered by the Masters player. He has warped in a few Adepts to potentially just try and shade in, get some good mineral damage done. But yeah, we'll see where this game's gonna go from here. Like AlphaStar moving around with its prism. I'm not sure what it's doing. The AI does seem to control its prisms pretty funnily. Picks up a unit randomly, unloads it. I'm not sure why it's choosing to do this. Interesting juggling by AlphaStar. AlphaStar decides to kill off its gateway, but units can fit by that. It doesn't need to kill that off. The AI is having some serious derpage right now. Oh, the Immortals go under the ramp, but the force field was not placed perfectly enough, I feel, by the Masters player. I think he could have tried to lock one of those Immortals out and get it. Good micro so far by AlphaStar against this. The Masters player is trying to hold this ramp position, but he's taken a lot of shots as this happens. AlphaStar juggling down its Immortals as the Prism does get picked off, however, but take a look at this. The Masters player taking some seriously big losses as he's lost like all of his Stalkers, and no, he's gonna lose all of his Stalkers as he tries to grab this last Immortal, and he's just gonna have to retreat on home, but oh, he lost just everything. That was a disaster. He's got nothing at home now. Oh no, the Masters player, I think really bungled that. He should have cut his losses sooner, or I don't know what he should have done. I think he should have just force fielded, tried to shoot the units as AlphaStar shuttled them down as opposed to going after the shuttle. We see Resonating Glaives start up a couple shield batteries for the Masters player, but AlphaStar is thinking of killing him, and I think the AI is right in thinking that 2 shield batteries is good, but 2 shield batteries is not beat all this good. The batteries are not even going to be done in time for this. Yeah, the Masters player is toast. I liked his play. AlphaStar just played pretty solid, though, did a good enough job, and let the human player play his kind of wacky style, and it definitely didn't work out for him. So, well done by AlphaStar, getting another victory. Not much of a surprise there. GG, well done, AlphaStar. Alright, so AlphaStar looked pretty darn good in that one, but, I mean, nothing too notable stood out. The fact that it sometimes goes for the high ground wall off, sometimes doesn't, is something interesting about its PvP Protoss play. And then the juggling on top of the ramp was a little bit odd, but it got it done in the end. So well done there by AlphaStar. And if we take a look right now, we have got ourselves a Masters Zerg taking on Alpha Terran today. So we'll see, is this Zerg going to bring anything out that will potentially knock down AlphaStar Terran, because Alpha T seems pretty darn good in TVZ. We've seen a lot of Zergs try and macro up, but they take damage, and then it's like they're down on supply because the AI doesn't skip a beat with its Terran. And that is a thing, like, Terran players, their economies can be thrown off, like they won't queue up SPVs or things like that right away, and so that's where the Terran economy can just kind of fall behind. But it's a stark contrast if you take just like some high Masters, low GM players macro and then compare it to AlphaStar's macro. Like AlphaStar's is miles and miles ahead. So yeah, it is impressive how well the AI macros up. We'll see if this Zerg player is able to run a tight enough ship, though, to challenge AlphaStar, if he's going to go for some cheese, something like that. Nothing too crazy just yet. Completely normal opening. Same for AlphaStar. That being said, I'm not ruling everything out, but if this game does go more of the distance as far as macro is concerned, I do favor AlphaStar. Unless the Zerg player runs like a really tight ship and then gets into like Broodlords or something, which I'm not sure AlphaStar knows how to deal with properly. So that would be a possibility. But otherwise, no, the Masters player is it's gonna be a tall order for him. Alright, we've got a Marine on the way after the Reaper for AlphaStar. The Masters player just doing his thing. We're on King's Cove for the map. There is the drone about to explode into a third base. And speaking of, I totally forgot to ask for likes, ladies and gentlemen. I'm sure some of you guys are legends and have hit the button without me asking. But if you guys would go ahead and hit that like button, let's try and hit 5 likes since there's 5 bases on the map right now. That's our big goal. All right. Let's take a look. These Lings are gonna be chasing this Reaper as he begins to terrorize the poor citizens of Droneville. And yeah, it looks like the Queen will shoo away the Reaper. 1 Ling dies. That's not bad for the Zerg. And as long as the Zerg keeps his macro going, he's good. Now, on AlphaStar's side of the map, we see a 3rd command center already. So the AI playing a very, very greedy build. But this is actually kind of cool because back when AlphaStar was made, this wasn't the most common build. But in the meta actually now for Terran, going for a 3rd CC seems to be more common, at the minute anyway. There's funny fluctuations in the meta as far as the builds that players choose to go for. Now we take a look here. The Reaper is going to be running away. See, is the 3rd base about to finish up. No real damage has occurred yet, just that 1 Ling, so a good opening from the Masters player. There is Stim Pack now about to finish up for AlphaStar. Or about to just starting up, pardon me, not about to finish up. And then yeah, just a normal fast 3rd command center play. And this is kind of terrifying because we all know how well AlphaStar macros up. Now AlphaStar, when it goes greedy and gets an even better economy than usual, is just going to be just a nightmare for the Zerg player. So we'll see, because at the same time, this is going to give the Zerg player an honest chance to basically just macro up himself. AlphaStar is moving out on the map with its 4 Hellions, but the Zerg should be prepared to deal with 4 Hellions. Queen is back at the natural base, tucked right up next to a Baneling nest, so the Masters player has that Baneling nest for safety, firing up a lair. So yeah, just playing a very safe and respectable game. Fires up Spore Crawlers, even worried about the Hellion timing, since he hasn't scouted much out. The Lings are now trying to deal with these Hellions. Looks like the Hellions will get cleaned up for the most part. There's just 1 remaining. And yeah, the Hellions do get taken out. 14 Lings for 4 Hellions, not a bad trade for the Zerg. Not amazing or anything, but not having to worry about this Hellions now is pretty darn good. The Zerg player firing up some Overlords, hits a slight supply block, but so far I'll say he's doing alright macroing up. He fires up 6 Overlords. Now that might be a bit excessive, but each to their own. At least he won't be supply blocked for a while. And then we see the lair is on the way, about to finish up. I imagine it's got to be a Spire play or something, right? I'm just kind of amazed that the Zerg hasn't thrown up extra gases yet. I think you generally throw these up by now if you're going to be going for mutas. And there's actually just Baneling speed on the way for the Zerg, so that's pretty interesting. So wanting to play maybe a heavier Baneling style, but then the Roach Warren getting thrown up too seems pretty unique. So a kind of cool style for the Zerg player. He wants that safety Roach Warren, but then he's also got the Baneling nest too. That seems a little bit redundant if you ask me. Hellions are now going to run in for AlphaStar once again, as the AI did produce extras. Looks like most of these will get softened up and pushed away. 4 of them stayed alive, so that was actually an alright skirmish for AlphaStar. We'll see if he can actually get some damage done. If it can actually get some damage done, pardon me. Drones are being pulled, and where are the Lings? I know there's just a handful of Lings left, but even those 2 need to get in there and help out. And oh, AlphaStar finds a way. That's the saying, the AI always finding a way to deal some damage. The Zerg taking a hit. Not that big of a hit. I mean, that was, what, 9 drones for 10 Hellions that have gone down this game? But the concern is that AlphaStar's got its 3rd already landed, and so the economy is just booming for the Terran player. So we see the Masters player squeezing out more drones and things with Baneling speed done, but there's really nothing else on the way. I mean, Evos are firing up now. There should be something else, I imagine, like a Hydra Den, a Spire, or is the Zerg just going to go for this primarily Lingbane composition? If that's going to be the case, we need to see the creep spread go, go, go for the Zerg player, because we need to see good engagement from the Masters player to deal with any sort of attack from AlphaStar, because right now it does look like AlphaStar may be planning an attack with all these Marines starting to move out on the map. Trying to deal with this Overlord is making the AI derp a little bit, but the AI will indeed get it. That was nicely done. The two full medivacs, or the two medivacs, are going to load on up as they'll start moving out on the map. And we'll see if the Masters player is ready to deal with this. He's firing up some Banelings, getting some more. And oh, these Banelings are actually just rolling up the ramp. That seemed a little bit odd. That was actually very odd, to be completely honest. As AlphaStar dealt with those Banes, is now going to deal with these Lings at its third base. Pulls away, loses one SCV. There's the double drop now moving towards the Masters player's side of the map. We'll see what these medivacs are able to accomplish. There is Lings and Banes out for the Masters player, so he should be fine to defend the drop. But we're starting to see it happen. We're starting to see the Terran player's supply just go up and up. And the Masters Zerg is not going that far up. There's a big attack moving out on the back of this drop. And so I am rather concerned here as we take a look. The Lings and Banes are going to try and deal with the drop in the main base. There's more Banelings that are morphing that are going to have to deal with this push on the front lines, but it's all going to come down to the engagement for the Masters Zerg. And seeing as how he's fighting without 1-1 right now, his Lings are actually doing very, very poorly. These Banes will come in, force that drop away, but here's the big attack at the fourth base, and there's simply not much here for the Masters Zerg. It's just crazy, like, not that much happened this game. Yes, I guess the Hellions did mess up the Zerg a little bit. Oh, and those are actually some really good Baneling connections. Is the Zerg gonna live? AlphaStar drops in the main base once again, and the fourth base does end up getting killed. There is a bit of a counterattack there. I think Banelings rolled in towards the fourth base. Or the third base, pardon me, did deal some damage to AlphaStar. But the problem is the supply is still just so far ahead for the AI. As the drop in the main base continues on, there's a couple of Marines unloading, just being a big old pain, and actually killing off all those Lings there. Sorry, I was zoomed out a little bit too much, but those boys holding strong. Here comes another big push for AlphaStar. Banelings are going to roll in, and the AI is pretty good at eating Banelings, and by that, not very good as it eats Banelings, but the macro is just so good that even though the Masters player has got some good Baneling hits, the AI is just walking it off. Supply is now literally doubling that of the Masters Zerg, and I think we can go ahead and update this scoreboard now, as AlphaStar is going to be taking this best of 3, a rather quick one, I'll say. But, yeah, as per usual, ladies and gentlemen, if you do enjoy these AlphaStar videos, go ahead and hit that like button. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't, and if these 3 Marines kill that lair, I'm going to be mighty surprised. Banelings do roll in, and they do clean them up finally. But, yeah, this is a tough one for the Zerg, as AlphaStar is rolling out with more and more units. Banelings rolling forward, gonna get some decent connections, but there's still too much for the Terran. Lings are gonna try and clean up the tanks. Looks like most of them will get cleaned up, but yeah, it's just been a slow, long, drawn-out death for the Masters player. He was dead, he just didn't know it. And yeah, like this video if you haven't, subscribed to the channel, and go ahead and join the bell gang by pressing that bell icon next to the subscribe button if you haven't. The Discord is linked in the description down below. We announce tournaments and things like that. Looks like in the future it might be one tournament a weekend that Falcon Paladin and I are doing, which is awesome. Weekly StarCraft 2 tournaments. And consider becoming a member if you do want to support the channel. Ladies and gentlemen, my name is LaughNgamez. I'll see you next time. Thanks so much for watching.